to Edulution 2.0. Edulution was originally created as an answer to the COVID-19 pandemic, when the world went remote and students lost their opportunity to be in the classroom. To help prevent students from falling behind, Edulution filled the gap for those who didn't have Wi-Fi or technology. Edulution has supported the community for over 2 years, filling the educational divide through equity and access, ensuring that all students have a fair chance to learn and succeed in life. Our host is Ms. Pia Rosa, a Bronx-born and raised educator with a heart for her community. Let's start the show.
Hi everyone, happy summer. Wishing you the best during this time. We have a great show ahead. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, or maybe good morning. I'm recording in the afternoon. Welcome back to art. Here we are, and today what I would like to show you step by step is how to draw a human face using facial proportions. Proportions is an interesting word. I'm going to put it down right here. Proportions. This is an idea, a concept in art that everything has its own, all the features, its own place. And not only is it in the right place, it has to be a certain size in order to make sense. In the face, all the features, the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, the mouth, have to be in a certain space that's, well, given to you in your head, right? On the surface of the head. But also certain things are a certain size in comparison to other features. And that's what we're going to focus on. When you want to remember the word proportions, this is how I remember. I think of proper portions. So the size and the place of every feature matters. It is a lot to take in, and I don't expect you to have a masterpiece on your first try, but we gotta start somewhere. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't come out really well at first. You should have seen my first faces, but we practice and we try to enjoy what we do, and with practice you get better. So I'm going to actually start with making the head, and I don't want to make a full circle because my face is actually more of an oval, all right? I'm making a self-portrait, and you're just going to follow along with me and see what happens, right? The distance from left to right is way shorter than distance from the top to the bottom of the head. Okay, and the face is even smaller. The head is bigger than the face. So I'm going to start with creating a side face, almost like thinking of a letter U. Letter U. And you can't see. Something like this. I cannot erase, which is really unfortunate. If you had a little squished up chin, you will be able to fix it, erase and fix it. I'm just going to have to be creative and not cry, right? Crying does not solve my problems. I smile and I try to think, well, how can I fix it? So I'm just going to have a much bolder line. That's okay. It'll still work. I pinky swear. So kind of like a U shape. I wish that I had a little bit more of a pointy chin for myself, but I'll be okay. All right. For the top of the head, I want you to focus. This is perfect half of the circle right here. So I'm going to attach almost like a nice big rainbow. And now we have this interesting oval, hopefully fairly symmetrical. So the left side is similar to the right side. We need it balanced. Next thing that I want to make sure that I have my hairline captured. There is a fair distance that I'm going to leave for the hair on the top of the head. And then I'm going to study my hairline. My hairline is a little strange. It has this curve in bump, and then it curves like two rainbow curves. And everybody's hairline, no matter what you have, you might have a solid curvy line, you might have a more straight line. So, you all have a hairline, but it goes down to your ear. Okay? So I am going to capture my hairline. I'm going to make this smile-like curve for the center. I'm going to curve to the side. And then I'm going to reach down a little bit, just like that. Once I have this done, obviously I need to leave a little space for my forehead, just like this. And I will need to place my eyebrows. I'm going to study my eyebrows, and I'm going to figure out, it goes kind of up and then down. Not everybody's eyebrows are the same, but mine are like this. So I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to create a width. It's not a skinny line. I mean, it's fairly thin, but it has a little bit of depth, right? So I repeat the same kind on the left side. There we go. Hopefully they are similar as best as I can. So now, obviously, we're going to go to the eye. I will need the crease, but I always do this crease, wrinkle-like line, actually last. I focus on the eyelashes line first. I will need a fairly big space left from the eyebrow to the eyelashes lid. So here I go and I curve it. 1. The difficult part is to make sure that the second eye is the same exact shape, the same exact level. So if it helps you, you can use a pencil and draw a line very, very lightly so you can erase it later to make sure that your eyes are on the same level, right? So I am going to make sure that I have the same distance to this eye, but this long, see? And now I also need to know how high I'm gonna go. You can see the 3 dots that I made for the inner corner, outer corner, and how high I'm going to bring this rainbow. And now I connect. I make this line a little bit thicker so it looks darker because of the eyelashes. Next step, I'm going to make a small letter U for the center of the eye. So this is the iris of the eye with the pupil of the eye in the center. I'm going to do the same with my left eye. And now I connect. I connect the inner corner to the base of the U. And I connect the outer corner to the base of the U. And I have this almond shape for the eye. Some people's eyes are a little wider. Some people's eyes are a little more narrow. Some people's eyelids don't curve the way mine do. So that's something to study in the mirror. But right now, we're just practicing proportions. Do you see that the eyebrow is wider than the eye? It actually is true. When you look at the distance, you see that the eye, of course, takes less space. There's the line for the eyebrow, there's the line for the eye. So you have little space left here to the side of the face and much more space on the eye line. Next, the nose. Interestingly enough, if you focus just on the face, don't consider the entire head, focus on just the face. From the chin to the eyebrows, your nose falls right into the center of the face. So to find the tip of the nose, I consider this distance, and then I kind of mark the center of the face. There it is. So now I'm going to make a small smiley curve. Next, I'm going to attach the nostrils. My nostrils are kind of round, so I am making rounded shapes. You can study your nostrils and see how big a shadow do you see there, okay? Once this is done, we're going to close the side of the nose with what I call the parenthesis. It is the parenthesis around the word proportions. I'm going to put parentheses on this side. I apologize. That's interesting. So, right, just like this. I'm going to go from the eyebrow with a little space left and not quite reaching the parenthesis. That's the bridge of the nose. Now, as far as the mouth, we're definitely going to need a little bit of the space between the tip of the nose and the upper lip. But also when you consider not looking at the lips, but looking at the center of the mouth, really the mouth falls in the middle, in this space between the nose and the chin. It's right in the middle. So what I could do simply is find the center and mark a line. I can't go too far, but this is also too small. Look at the pupil of the eye. I'm going to imagine the line going right under, and I extend the mouth. I line it up with the pupil of the eye. That's the proportions. Same thing here. Now that's the right size. I'm not going all the way to the side. That would be awful, but here we are. So now for the upper lip, you're going to study the curve, the way it goes. Mine is kind of like a very pointy V shape in the center. So I'm going to draw that. I'm going to make that V right here. But when I'm connecting the top part of letter V, I don't go all the way to this dimple right here. I'm going to go right before it, somewhere over here. Watch this. I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Something like that. I'm going to step down and mark the right width of my lip. My lower lip is not as thin as my upper lip. And I'm going to go from this little curve that I just made and connect to the upper lips. Just like this. Now you can mark the teeny tiny little space under the nose. You can mark the little curve on the chin. This is looking pretty good. Now, we're definitely missing the ears, and I want to show you something. When people wear glasses, and I mean, everybody can wear glasses, sunglasses, prescription glasses, and you realize your top of the ear is lined up with your eye. That's why glasses work for every human. We have these proportions. So when I sketch my ears, I'm going to make sure I find the corner of the eye, go to the side, and make a small point. My ears are kind of pointy. You see that, right? So You might have a nice rounded curve. How low do I go for the earlobe? It's lined up with my nose, just a little below the nose. So here is the nose line. I'm gonna go just below, make a nice round curve and connect. Same thing here, find the eye line, find the nose line. There we go. And here we are. The neck should not be a bubble neck. You don't put it under the chin. I'm gonna step down a little bit from the ear and make that line. Slide down from the ear and make that line for the neck. I know I have very massive dark lines here, but that's okay. The head looks squished because I didn't really focus on extending the hair above the ears. Now, your hair, of course, is different. I'll show you how I do my hair, and you need to study your own hairline if you're making your own self-portrait. If you're drawing me, that's fine. You can just repeat what I'm doing. If you're making a self-portrait, drawing yourself, look in the mirror, see what's happening. I am actually going to extend the hairline and goodbye helping lines. I can't erase them, so I'm just gonna cover them with the lines for the hair. I don't know what I did with the hair today. Oh yeah, kind of pulled it up a little bit on this side. I'm just going to pretend that I have a mask on right here, right? Okay. Now, since I'm at it, I can show you how to draw glasses. If you notice the connecting bridge that holds the lenses together, right? It's on the bridge of the nose and right between the eyes. So I'm going to draw this first. I suppose you could do the upper parts first, but I actually like to do the lower parts. And I noticed that my glasses are very rounded and they almost reach the parenthesis parts of my nose. So I'm gonna go and create the base. And they reach out all the way to the side. All the way to the side. There is a little part right here. And guess what? Now I connect. And it's kind of like slightly under my eyebrows. Just like that. And there is the glasses. Right? If I had an eraser, I would do that. My face is not round enough. I think I did the U shape. If I had a pencil, I would erase this a little bit and squish this up a little taller. But for now, that's just gonna have to be. Shoulders. Shoulders are usually the size of your face. Okay, so I've got my jacket, right? That's that. That's the face. You can shadow it in, casting. Casting certain lines. But that's, I guess, a lesson for another time. You can definitely practice more. I'll put some more videos on facial proportions soon enough. It becomes more fun as you remember the rules for the proportions. Okay. All right, my dear artists, I'll see you soon and we'll do more faces. Bye all.
Would you like to hear a story? I remember when I graduated high school, one of the toughest decisions that I had to make was selecting a college to go to. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to leave New York City and go to a different state to continue my studies or stay at home. A part of me wanted to start a new chapter, but then the other side was being close to my family. I love my family so much and I didn't want to be away from them. Ultimately, I decided to stay in New York City so that way I can be closer to my family and friends while still pursuing my dreams of becoming an educator.
So now I'm ready to finish off my value lesson. I had to start from scratch because my original background color is, of course, in the classroom. So I took a different paper. It rolled up a little bit. It's still slightly wet. I just finished it. But you can see that I started with white. And then I progressed. Here's my palette. This was the hue of blue, ultramarine blue. I used watercolors out of the tubes. Okay. Tubes look like this. This is white. This is black. It's one of my favorites, of course. It's already been used on other artworks. And ultramarine. You can use whatever you have, guys. If you have oil pastels, go for it. If you have pencils, colored pencils, watercolor pencils, doesn't matter, go for it. I'm trying to open this. Here we go. Okay. Whatever materials you find at home. Now that we are kind of doing this remote learning, that's what we're gonna do. I need a brush. I have a really wide one in case I want to paint large details and see the difference in these two. This light blue handled one is a flathead, and this one, the darker blue one, is round. This is great for fine details. So I already added a little bit of water to my watercolor, and I am ready to paint my trees. Maybe just one. Maybe just one. We tried to create trees earlier this year, and I did mention that the base of the trunk needs to be a little wider, while the top is super skinny. Happy tree. Happy tree. And I smudged a little bit. That's not a mistake. It's an opportunity. Don't freak out. Maybe it will be a little awkward, but we'll make it work. Here we go. And I just keep splitting my branches so I create a silhouette. I don't want them completely straight. They look very strange and very unnatural. I'm going to add a little bit of white, which of course is going to turn grayish to show bumpy texture. Okay, now that's a little bit more alive. Maybe a little bit of blue. Just like that. It was a little too even to be natural. And here we go. I'm barely pressing, guys, because if you press too hard, you know what's gonna happen. Your lines are going to look really fat and not as delicate as they should. I'm considering the entire tree. It looks okay. Yeah, maybe a little bit wider here. Too much white. Darken that. They work together really well, but they need to be balanced and shouldn't be fighting. They should be working together. Okay. So now all I need to do is sign my name. Come on. My paint doesn't want to cooperate. And like that. Done. That's my study in value. Good luck, guys. It doesn't have to be a tree. It can be a building, it can be skyline of the city. But I thought the tree will be easier because we know how to draw it. By the way, if you need to sketch it with the pencil first, do that. And then trace over with the paint, okay? Oil pastels, colored pencils, whatever you got. Have fun. I can't wait to see your work. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day today and tomorrow.